This is CBS News New York.
Now at 11, New Jersey's first new senator in more than a decade.
I can't tell you how incredible this is. I'm having a hard time processing this moment right now.
An emotional Andy Kim after a decisive win. But tonight, many critical races in the area are still a total toss-up.
Security is in place for Trump Tower tonight and our nation's capital, too, as the country waits for a winner in the race for the White House.
And we will continue to monitor the results and break everything down for you live from our high-tech virtual studio with a closer look at the states that still need to be called.
Live election team coverage continues right now. Good evening to you. I'm Christine Johnson.
I'm Dick Brennan in for Maurice Dubois. We begin tonight with the race that's at top of mind, the historic race for the White House. The numbers are still coming in as the nation waits to find out whether Kamala Harris will make history as the first woman to be elected president, or if Donald Trump returns to the White House. Right now, Trump, we can look, has, well, we're not looking at the electoral votes right now, but we'll check in on that. And tonight, the vice president is watching the numbers at her alma mater, Howard University, while Trump's headquarters waits for results at the West Palm Beach Convention Center.
We have reporters standing by at both of those locations, and we're also, of course, keeping a close watch on all of our local races with crews at various headquarters across the tri-state area. But we want to begin here with Jessica Moore. She's live with the latest CBS News data on the presidential race from our virtual studio tonight. Jessica.
Christine and Dick, tonight all eyes are on Pennsylvania, of course considered the most important battleground state in the country. It carries those 19 coveted electoral votes. Keep in mind, right now, Pennsylvania is taking a while to report all of its results, as it always does. If you look at the numbers there on the big board, 48% Harris, 50% Trump, 67% of the vote is in. The Harris campaign is counting on those votes out of Philly. Let's get a quick check now on the latest electoral college count. As of 10:56, the electoral college count, 207 Trump, 91 Harris. As you know, the candidate who wins the popular vote does not always win the White House. It all comes down to the first candidate to get to 270 electoral college votes. Dick and Christine, we will continue to monitor it throughout the night and be back in just a moment. Back to you.
Okay, Jessica, thank you.
Both Kamala Harris and Donald Trump are hosting watch parties tonight in separate states.
Former President Trump is in West Palm Beach, where he is gathering with hundreds of supporters. Bradley Blackburn continues our coverage now from Trump headquarters in Florida.
Yeah, right now here at Trump headquarters, it's more of a party atmosphere with every call. More red states are winding up on the board. Of course, many of these are Republican-leaning locations, but that hasn't mattered to the supporters gathered in this room. They are celebrating the momentum. But we know that former President Trump himself is laser-focused on the state of Pennsylvania. He's been calling into radio shows there and also in Wisconsin. He's been urging supporters in these blue wall states to stay in lines if they're waiting to cast their ballots. He knows it could come down to just a few thousand votes in these states potentially, and it's still a long way before we'll know the results in those locations. Former President Trump himself is watching the results not here at headquarters, but instead at his Mar-a-Lago estate. He's joined there by a circle of his core supporters. CBS News has learned that includes billionaire Elon Musk, who's been so instrumental in this campaign, particularly in the state of Pennsylvania. So former President Trump will conclude this night there before potentially coming here to speak to supporters. He began this campaign 721 days ago, and tonight it will conclude. And we're just waiting to see what the result is. In West Palm Beach, Bradley Blackburn, Dick and Christine, back to you.
And if you've been following CBS News coverage here tonight, then you know Vice President Kamala Harris is at Howard University, her alma mater.
Natalie Brown continues our team coverage from there.
Here at Harris headquarters, some supporters we've been talking to say they are just kind of eagerly awaiting more results to come in, and that they remain optimistic and knew this race would be close. The Harris campaign saying that no one knows that more than the vice president herself. The campaign this evening also expressing confidence in turnout numbers of college-age students in some of these key battleground states, particularly Pennsylvania. We also know know that among Harris supporters and voters, their number one issue was democracy, followed by abortion, according to early exit polling. At the Harris headquarters at Howard University, Natalie Brand, back to you, Dick and Christine.
All right, Natalie, thanks very much. To the 4th Congressional District race on Long Island's South Shore, Republican Anthony D'Esposito fighting to keep his seat in a tight race with Democrat Laura Gillen.
Let's take a look at the latest numbers into our newsroom here. With 52% of the vote in, Laura Gillen leading this race right now with 54.7% of the vote. Carolyn Gussoff joins us live from the New York Democratic Party headquarters with Laura Gillen in Garden City. And Carolyn, are they feeling more optimistic now?
You know, it's interesting. Those numbers look like a comfortable lead for her, but it's still very much a nail biter here, and no sign yet of Laura Gillen. You can see folks are still just standing around waiting, and the campaign is telling us that they believe it's still too close to call. Now, this is a rematch the Democrats thought was winnable this time around in a presidential election year, and they spent plenty on it. The 14th most expensive congressional race in the country. You probably saw all the ads painting Democrat Gillen as the moderate Democrat, tough on crime, committed to solving the immigration crisis, and D'Esposito as a MAGA extremist. And it is that moderate message that Democrats are banking on. Have a listen.
The numbers we're seeing seem to be very positive. I think we're seeing that people are happy with a candidate in Laura Gillen who's willing to give answers and willing to give solutions to problems, whereas you have D'Esposito, who's basically run on a rhetoric of we have problems, but not providing any solutions. Laura is giving solutions, and that's what people want.
And late in this campaign, Anthony D'Esposito gave the Democratic candidate, Laura Gillen, a bit of a gift with some ethics issues, hiring his own girlfriend and a woman that he had was having an affair with on his payroll. But right now, it's still too close to call. At least that's what the campaign is telling us. This is a purple district, and it is those independent voters that we're still waiting to see which way they voted. So that's the latest from Democratic headquarters in Garden City. Back now to you.
All right, Carolyn, thanks very much.
Well, Representative Anthony D'Esposito's camp is in Baldwin tonight.
Jennifer Bistrom has been there all night. She joins us live. Jennifer, how's the feeling out there now?
The mood is still good in here, Dick and Christine. And if you look behind me, you can see Congressman Anthony D'Esposito on that stage right now. He just addressed his supporters in the room saying that all the votes are not in yet, but he is very optimistic. He is still very confident that he will be able to bring this one home. And again, a win here could help the House, keep the House red, but it's still a tight race. His challenger, Laura Gillen, a Democrat, hoping to win and flip the seat back to blue. You know, for most of the campaign, he focused a lot on immigration and border control, said he would restore SALT deductions. Last night when we interviewed him, he said he does not support an abortion ban. This year, he did face some controversy, allegedly giving part-time jobs to people, including a woman he was allegedly having an affair with, a possible violation of House ethics rules, allegations he has denied. Now, it's unclear if that is why he is currently trailing at the moment, but take a listen to some of his supporters earlier in the night.
It's going to be a long night. It's going to be a tight race. But right now we feel good. I was talking with him. He feels good. Chairman Cairo feels good. But it's, again, no one's claiming victory. But we really are in the fight. And it looks right now, I put my money on Anthony.
Well, this is a turnout election. Obviously, it's very close. So whichever side gets the turnout, the greater percentage of their voters is going to win this election.
And another live look right now, that is Nassau County Executive Bruce Blakeman on the stage right now, just kind of getting all the supporters in here riled up, still believing that they were going to be able to pull this off again. The votes are not in. CBS has not called the race just yet, but as you can see from all the supporters here in the room, from the Nassau County Executive, all the Republicans on that stage, and Congressman Anthony D'Esposito himself, they are still very confident that they can bring this one home. We're live in Baldwin. Jennifer Bistrom, CBS News New York. We'll send it back to you guys in the studio.
Okay, Jennifer, we'll continue to monitor those numbers as they come in. Thank you.
It's been a tough fight in Congressional District 17, and it's not over yet.
The Republican incumbent Mike Lawler facing Democrat Mondaire Jones. Here's a look at the latest numbers. With 71% of the vote in, Mike Lawler, the incumbent there, running on the Republican ticket, winning with 54.8%. But again, this case has been very close, and we're going to continue to monitor those numbers.
Yeah, Alice Gaynor is covering the Jones campaign tonight, while Tony Aiello is in New City, Rockland County, with the Lawler campaign. Tony.
Folks, the Lawler campaign believes it is going to have a comfortable margin of victory tonight compared to the 1,800 vote win that Lawler enjoyed 2 years ago. During the campaign, Lawler stressed his bipartisan bona fides and his relentless focus on constituent services and holding events, more than 1,000 stops in his district over the last 2 years. This race saw $40 million in spending here in New York 17, countless attack ads. Lawler told me earlier he believes voters saw past those attack ads.
This didn't just happen in a vacuum or in the last 2 weeks of the campaign. This has been 2 years worth of work representing this district, doing the job that I was elected to do in 2022. And that's why ultimately voters are going to reward us tonight with a big win.
So Republicans insiders tell me that Lawler put together an amazing get-out-the-vote drive. In some of the targeted precincts, they were seeing 80 and even 90% turnout. He did a tremendous job getting his voters to the polls in a congressional district where Democrats far outnumber registered Republicans. Mike Lawler expected to come out in the next 10 minutes or so, declare victory. As we speak, his campaign is trying to reach the campaign manager for Mondaire Jones to talk about calling this race in Mike Lawler's favor. Live in New City, Tony Aiello, CBS News New York.
All right, Tony, well, flag us when that happens. We'll be sure to get back to you right away.
And Democrat Mondaire Jones is challenging Republican Mike Lawler.
He sure is. Alice Gaynor covering the Jones camp and joins us live from Rockland County. Alice.
We're at a Mexican restaurant in Nanuet, and behind me you could see Mondaire Jones supporters all gathered here, but the candidate himself not here yet. The mood in the room right now is subdued. You could see everyone staring at their phones, also the television screens, watching numbers come in. Now, Jones was the congressman in District 17, elected in 2020. The area was then redistricted. He moved to Brooklyn to run there in 2022, but was unsuccessful. Well, today he posted on social media his campaign raised more than $10.5 million. As Tony was mentioning, a lot of money was spent on this campaign. You probably saw all of the ads running. Once again, we are awaiting Mondaire Jones to arrive here at this restaurant. There's a podium set up with a microphone, so he will be speaking. The question is, what time? We'll send it back to you.
Let's get you some more results now. In New York's District 11, incumbent Republican Nicole Maliotakis is projected as the winner here with 84% of the vote in, 64.7% against Andrea Morse with 35.3%.
And taking a look at results for New York Congressional District 3 between incumbent Democrat Tom Suozzi and Republican Michael LaPetri Jr. Suozzi held the seat for 6 years. He unsuccessfully ran for governor in 2022, and George Santos replaced him, while Suozzi regained the seat in a special election in February. And let's check it out right now. With 64% of the vote, has 53% overall.
And now the race for New York's 19th congressional district between incumbent Republican Mark Molinaro and Democrat Josh Riley. This district is big, covering all or part of 11 counties upstate. This is a rematch from 2022 and has become one of the most expensive races in the country this election cycle. With 89% of the vote in, Democrat Josh Riley here leading with 51.4%, Mark Molinaro 48.6%. CBS News is not projecting a winner in this race yet.
All right, now to New York's 18th congressional district, which includes all of Orange County, most of Dutchess and Ulster counties. Democrat incumbent Pat Ryan has a lead of Republican Allison Esposito, 56.6% of the vote, to Esposito's 43.4%.
Okay, let's move across state lines now. Go to New Jersey and the closely watched race for the U.S. Senate seat, which has been held by former Senator Bob Menendez for nearly 20 years.
Democratic Congressman Andy Kim is the projected winner against Curtis Bashaw. Christine Sloan has been covering the race from the beginning. She joins us live from Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Christine.
Well, Dick and Christine, Andy Kim gave his victory speech earlier tonight to a cheering crowd that filled this room. Kim, who will be the first Asian American to represent New Jersey in the U.S. Senate, says he chose this spot, the Doubletree Hotel in Cherry Hill, because this is the first place he and his parents stayed when his family first arrived in New Jersey. At the podium, the Democrat, surrounded by his own kids and wife, crediting young people for energizing his campaign and saying the moment too hard to process.
I wanted to pay tribute to my parents, to my family, to the state, for giving a kid like me a chance to be able to dream, for giving me the tools through public education and a kind community.
Kim then spoke to us, giving CBS News New York his first interview, saying while he's hopeful, he is concerned about the division in this country.
I'm very much worried about this. You know, we're at a time when we have such distrust in government, and we see former President Donald Trump and others sowing that doubt. And I worry about our ability to continue when that undermining of the very fabric of our democracy is constantly happening. So I want to be somebody that can help restore that sense of integrity and that sense of honor.
Kim, best remembered by that photo picking up trash at the U.S. Capitol after the attack on January 6th. We are live in Cherry Hill, New Jersey. Christine Sloan, CBS News New York.
All right, Christine, thanks very much.
Okay, another race that we're watching in New Jersey is for Congressional District 7.
Democrat Sue Waltman challenging incumbent Tom Kean Jr. And right now, Kean has the lead 52-45 with 88% of the vote in.
New Jersey's 9th Congressional District now. This election will determine who will replace late Congressman Bill Pascrell.
The race between Nellie Poe and Bill Primpa, and the results right now very tight, 49-47 with only 68% of the vote in.
New Yorkers also voted on several proposals today. CBS News projects Proposition 1 has been approved, also known as the Equal Rights Amendment. It will now make abortion rights part of the state constitution and add new protected classes. Here are the votes that are come in, with 80% of the vote in. Overwhelmingly, people voting yes, with 62.4% of that vote.
And joining us now is political reporter Marsha Kramer. Marsha, let's talk about Prop 1. And this was all Governor Hochul all in. What does this mean for her?
Look, this is really a big win for Governor Hochul, who fought off a well-financed campaign from Republicans who tried to stop her from enshrining the right to abortion in the state constitution, as well as the equal rights provisions. But also, the governor now appears on the verge of a successful campaign to flip as many as 3 congressional seats from Republican to Democrat.
Yeah. How did she... Okay, we haven't declared those races yet, but let's...
We have not declared
Yes, we have not declared.
We have to... She still has to have it happen, and we have to wait till that happens. But what the governor did is she spent millions of dollars to open 38 offices in battleground congressional districts. They made 5 million phone calls and 1.2 million door knocks. And here's the thing. This is going to stand her in really good stead when she tries to run for re-election in 2 years. And here's the thing. The people who were thinking that they might primary her might have second thoughts. Can you say Andrew Cuomo?
Yeah, of course. He's working on the mayoralty right now. We'll see.
Well, her approval rating, though, at last check, Marsha, not so great.
Her approval rating was really in the 30s. I mean, it was underwater. It was in the 30s. But who knows what's going to happen now that she got past Proposition 1 despite intense Republican opposition, and now she is on the verge of possibly moving 3 congressional seats to help turn the House.
Yeah, and then the next challenge will be congestion pricing.
Yeah, well,
yeah, we're going to have to wait and see what, now that she's paused it, maybe she's going to unpause it now that she's got these elections over.
See what happens in the House first before when it's said and done. Maybe she'll double think that.
Or find some other way to get the money.
Oh, good luck with that one.
Taxes, you remember that.
Yeah. All right, Marsha.
Thanks
very much. And there's still much more ahead on this election night.
Voters in the area waiting in long lines today to cast their ballots. This was the scene at a polling place in Ditmas Park, Brooklyn today.
And as we get to the break, here are the latest results for some of the other races we're watching tonight.